This is an honor that in my lifetime I never thought I would ever have. It was not part of my bucket list at all. And it's a distinct, rare opportunity to be able to serve. Thank you all here, and I will miss you.
Councilmember Heidi Ann Ashcraft leaves her seat at the dais for the final time, holding the record for being appointed, elected, then appointed onto the position she held so dearly for a total of about 7 years.
It's close to my heart, and now I feel the emotion coming again. I love my city. I've been here over 40 years, and it's been a blessing to our family.
When somebody gives that much of themselves unselfishly, it just tells me that this person's a really good person. And the fact that she has given so much of herself, knows so much about our community, and cares in an appropriate way for what's happening in our community. And I think that's why she's been so successful.
Ashcraft came to Torrance in 1978, not knowing this would become her forever home.
We moved to Torrance thinking we were going to move somewhere else. It was an interim move for us. And we were in the house for 11 years. Kids were in school, and we thought, we're not going anywhere else. We just really loved being in Torrance.
She decided to get more involved in her community through her kids' schools with the Parent-Teacher Association.
I was PTA president at West High School when a group of parents became a little upset with some curriculum issues. And there became an opening on the school board in Torrance, and they encouraged me to run. I had never been at that point to a school board meeting, but I started going to meetings, understanding what was going on, and ran for school board and was elected.
Ashcraft ran a total of 3 elections and served 3 terms on the board. Ashcraft's love for education also led her to become more involved with the Torrance-South Bay YMCA, eventually becoming its first woman chair in 2007.
We serve over 500,000 families and children throughout Southern California through programs that build healthy spirit, mind, and body. She was here when I first began, and she was an impressive leader from the minute I met her. Our YMCA has been in the Torrance area for decades and had not had a female leader. And for us to truly represent our community and be aligned with the needs of our community, we needed that type of representation. And Heidi brought it to us and really did it in a way that was her style, with passion and with compassion, and everybody followed Heidi. It was a no-brainer. She inspired me to apply for and become a commissioner in my own city. I think our whole community has been transformed thanks to the work that she has put in over the many years.
As I got involved, I found that they do so much more than just have a facility and a gym. They have childcare on our school campuses. They have meals for seniors. Some of those seniors only see that person that comes to their house delivering that mail. Wonderful organization, and I'm so glad that I did learn about it and was part of it. And interestingly, my husband is now going in as the chair of the Board of Managers for this upcoming year. It's a family thing.
Ashcraft was also a part of the Board of Education at the SoCal Regional Occupational Center for nearly a decade.
Our goal was to provide quality career technical education to adults and high school students. When I arrived in 2005, it was more focused on what people understood vocational education programs to be. I used to always say that's wood shop, metal shop, auto shop kinds of things. But the board and I had a bigger vision, and Heidi was a big part of accomplishing that vision.
In a way, Heidi's been my mentor both on the Torrance School Board as well as on the SCROC Board. She really took me under her wing and taught me a lot about not only our Torrance schools, budget issues, how our schools are run, but also what it said about our larger community.
Heidi is a leader, and a lot of people in leadership roles, you can tell right off the bat just by looking and listening to them, that person's in charge. Not Heidi. Heidi is a quiet leader. And Heidi was the kind of leader that inspired others to want to excel in their positions and to provide that little bit of encouragement to, we should go this way. This is a good thing. And Heidi has been a mentor for me in many different areas of my life.
On a personal note, Ashcraft says she loves the arts and supports it any way she can.
Heidi Ashcraft has always been very supportive of the arts and supportive of us finding a place to have our studios and gallery in Torrance. And she has been there for us all along the way. She was at our grand opening in November of 2014. She was at our 5th anniversary in 2019 and was most recently at our grand expansion when we have grown our space in May of 2022. And she has been at almost every opening reception that we've had. And we've been so grateful for her support and her support of the arts.
She also helped launch and sustain an annual art scholarship, motivating teens to stay creative.
Visions of Unity started when Heidi and I met, and that was back in 1999. What we were able to accomplish with this is to give young people the opportunity to talk about their ideas and their ideals, about diversity, inclusiveness, belonging, and not only were we giving young people an opportunity to use arts as arts were being eliminated from schools, but also using the voices of these young people to reach the community, the leaders of the community, the school, and to hear what young people were saying. And we've had almost 900 winners that have received their opportunity to read their work, show their artwork, and to receive checks, award checks for the work that they've done.
We started this in the year 2000, thinking it would be a good 1 year or 2 year. Well, we've been going for 22 years now, and it's for all the high school students in Torrance. The arts bridge any kind of language barrier, and Torrance is very multicultural, and everybody can enjoy music, whether it's vocal, whether it's instrumental, and come together for those types of things. So I think it's critical that we have that, and we do in Torrance.
Ashcraft's desire to be around children after her own left home gave her the opportunity to do meaningful work caring for children in foster care through CASA, which stands for Court-Appointed Special Advocates.
It's a nonprofit based here in LA in which we motivate and activate volunteers from the community to speak up for children and families in the child welfare system and the juvenile justice system.
I did training as a court-appointed special advocate for children in foster care, and I did that for about 9 years. I was able to have cases that were given to me of children that needed some extra help. They had social workers, but social workers, as we know, are very overburdened.
She was an advocate for 4 different children, 2 of whom were siblings. The case that she was on, the child she was matched to when I first met her, was a child that was very medically fragile. So she was making sure he was getting the best possible medical care, that he was also getting services, and that he was also going to school and having the most appropriate educational plan for him. The wonderful thing about Councilman Ashcraft on that case is she really observed, because this child was not verbal, she really observed his behaviors and realized certain sounds that he made had certain meanings, and that if he got very agitated, music helped him to calm down. So she used her observational skills to inform others on how to best support him, because he couldn't tell people what he needed.
Ashcraft says she did this important work until an opportunity came knocking from City Council.
Frank Scotto approached me and said there was an opening for an appointment on Torrance City Council. And he said there are no women on council, and women have different perspectives, and why don't you apply to be city council?
She applied in 2013 and was appointed, then ran in the 2014 election to retain her seat, serving a full term before deciding to step away to focus on her family. Fast forward to the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, where she got another opportunity to serve.
We were having budgetary concerns, and a lot of things were happening. So I was blessed to be appointed a second time.
Ashcraft says she's grateful to have played a crucial role in shaping our city's future.
I had the wonderful honor of being able to choose a city manager for the City of Torrance, and that is Aram Shaparian. Aram has also had the unique ability to choose a lot of department heads now, because we just happened to hit a critical point of many people retiring. I'm very proud to say that I'll be leaving and know that everything is in very, very good hands.
And throughout the pandemic, Ashcraft helped to navigate the city in ways that could help struggling businesses and other community members.
Integrity. Heidi has integrity. She has passion. Heidi enjoys being in the back, yet knows what's in the front, meaning she's very well versed and very, very humble. Heidi has participated a lot in chamber activities, especially our Women in Business group. And I think one of the things that stands out about Heidi is that she's always willing to mentor and to give of her time.
We're a business-friendly city, and watching businesses close was not a happy thing for me and for any of the council. Coming up with ways to have restaurants be able to feed people and then to have outside dining. The city made bags of food that those in need could pick up because we had a lot of residents that were out of work and unable to get financial help even through the government system. And so we made it available for them to be able to come through and get bags of food that people had donated. All those were innovative ways, and I'm very proud to say our permit center kept doing business, where many cities did not. They stopped.
Another role she fully embraced was being the chair of the City Council Ad Hoc Facility Naming Committee.
The very first thing we did coming back from COVID was naming the council chambers after Leroy Jackson. He was almost ready to retire, and he was very surprised. And of course, he didn't want the notoriety, but he got very well-deserved notoriety. Second was the Mary Giordano Transit Center. Miss Giordano was assistant to the city manager. She spent many years working in City of Torrance, and sadly she passed away. And we all wanted to have something named in her memory. There couldn't be a better choice than the Transit Center. She was the person that was instrumental in purchasing that property. And the third naming was the Jean Barnett Athletic Fields. A very, very well-deserved naming of a gentleman, Mr. Jean Barnett, that sat next to me on the city council. He played many, many years of softball there and did a lot of coaching. So being the chair of the Naming Facilities Committee has been a real delight for me.
Another memory she holds dear is her involvement with honoring our military heroes as the chairperson of the Armed Forces Day Parade Committee.
That's another thing to love about Torrance is the patriotism that we have here. We have not had a parade in a couple of years because of COVID. I'm hoping 2023 will bring back our Armed Forces Day Parade.
One of the last actions Ashcraft took as a council member was approving the next steps to incorporate a half-cent sales tax increase that would generate millions of dollars for the city to fund its local and essential services, such as paramedic, public safety, and emergency 911 responses.
Nobody likes taxes, me included, but it was an issue that needed to be faced and done, and the fear was that if we didn't increase our sales tax by that small amount, the county could come in and they could take the increase, but we wouldn't see any part of it. So I'm really glad and happy that the residents and the voters saw that this was a necessary thing for us.
Ashcraft says many decisions she has made as a council member were not easy, but she considers it a privilege to represent Torrance and says she's touched whenever she receives a note from a community member.
One in particular was from our sanitation department. The trash man, as we call him, had stopped several times with several different children, because these little boys and girls stand out in front and wait for that trash truck to come, and the driver has stopped and taken time to wave at them and even give them some little tokens of the Public Works Department. And also the elderly people that have said the wind blows in Torrance quite hard and that their trash bin had fallen over, and drivers can drive right by. They don't have to stop, but many times I've gotten notice that they've stopped, taken the time to pick it up or move it into a driveway for someone, and the thoughtfulness of our employees is wonderful. So from the parks to the public works and everything that we have here, that's what makes me emotional. I hope that I'm remembered for listening and trying to help
the general feeling that I had with Heidi of how much I respected her viewpoint. And even though we disagreed, I think we were very good friends. Her concern was genuine, and that's what I really like about Heidi.
Ashcraft shares what she's learned the most during her time serving our city.
Never think you know everything, because you don't. Learn from those around you, which I have continually done, and that's what I will miss.
And she encourages those who also care about Torrance to do what they can to serve too.
I didn't have a lot of time. I made time. I was fortunate to be able to make time. And maybe you can't spend the time to do an elected office, but be knowledgeable where your children are, where your interests are. We have commissions in Torrance, from Aging Commission to Arts to Traffic and Airport Commission. Take the commissioner training. You don't have to apply if you don't want to, but that will expand your knowledge. Start small and it'll snowball. It snowballed with me. And once you get involved and you get to know the people, I think that's the big deal. People are critical. And when you come to know people and understand where they're coming from and what their points of view are, then it expands your knowledge and it helps you to know why things are happening. And everything can be made better no matter what. And I think us all working together make the City of Torrance what it is.
I'm Christine Lee with Torrance City Cable.